We're now going to be heading back to the Salon Privé Concours d'Elegance in Chelsea. Now this is where the most exclusive brands are all displayed, and it's held in the Hurlingham Club, which is an absolutely beautiful place where the carpet like green grass can be used for cricket games or games of tennis, as well as looking at all the classic and modern beautiful cars. So let's go and have a look at this amazing event.
Basically, I come to a lot of these classic car events and paint the cars. Often I go to racetracks and paint the cars as they're coming in and out of the pits with the mechanics working on them. But today is a Concours d'Elegance, so it's very much the cars stay on the lawn just to be admired and looked at, really. It actually started 2 years ago. I was invited as a guest to go to the Formula One Grand Prix in Monaco, and I was very excited because I thought that would be my first opportunity to paint Formula One cars. But a friend of mine laughed and said I wouldn't get access because the security is so tight. So he suggested that I went to the historic Grand Prix 2 weeks before. So I went along and painted quite a few cars, a Matra, a BRM, a Stanguilini, a Ferrari, all sorts, and got a couple of commissions. Then I went to Monza, and then I went to Dijon, and then I went to Goodwood, and Nürburgring, Spa, various places. And yeah, I've been doing this now for 2 years.
Hi, my name's Piers Trevelyan and I'm from Gloucestershire, which is sort of down south of the country. It's the first time I've ever been here, and I'm a big car enthusiast. I'm here today because I've got a big passion for vintage and classic cars, and today is a great example of some of the finest cars around, like Maseratis, Bugattis. I've actually got 2 Bugattis in my family. Neither of them are here today, but they are possibly some of the nicest cars around. The cars are here really today just to be shown to the public and for them to be outside their normal private collections. I think my favourite would probably have to be one of the Bugattis.
Why Bugattis?
I've grown up with them, and I think they're just some of the best cars in the world.
Well, I've owned the car since 1956. I bought it in Woking from a dealer. I tried to buy it before that, but unfortunately the chap who I was going to buy it off, he'd already traded it in for a Bentley. And he wanted me to buy the Bentley, but I wasn't interested. And I said, well, where's the Bugatti gone? Because I'd seen it, you see. He said, oh, it's in a place in Woking. So I went off to Woking, and I just bought it, and that was in 1956, and it was in running order, which was all right, but I rebuilt it. There was a few things wrong with it, and over the years, and having spent quite a bit of money on it, it's turned up like this. I don't find any great difficulty in driving it at all. A lot of people think it's awkward to drive. It's a crash gearbox, as you know. There's no synchromesh or anything like that. But you just get the revs right and away it goes, no problem. The accelerator's in the centre, which puts a few people off, but you get used to it. Today's event, it's brilliant.
Why?
Well, all these lovely cars, I mean, what more could you want? I didn't know what it was all about really, but I was invited to come, and so I took up the invitation, that's all.
We're next going to be leaving Chelsea and heading to North London, where we're going to be looking at the Speedway Racing Museum, which is situated in the Paradise Wildlife Park. Now this was set up by the World Speedway Riders Association when they approached the owner of the Paradise National Park and asked him if he'd like to have their museum in the middle of it. As he's a former rider, he said yes.
I was the president of the World Speedway Riders Association last year, and I'm going to take you around the museum and show you all the exhibits. The museum is situated in the Paradise Wildlife Park in Hertfordshire, Peter Sampson, the owner, was a Speedway rider. Cycle Speedway was the first thing that young boys done in London after the war. After the war, there was bomb sites all over the place, and the young boys went around and made bikes up, these type of bikes that are here, and the racing went on bomb sites. Everybody that rode Cycle Speedway wanted to become a Speedway rider. I done the Cycle Speedway and become a Speedway rider in 1960, but it took 2 years of practice to get the Speedway going. When it got to Speedway, my mum always said to me, "You'll kill yourself," and I said, no, I'll be all right. The Speedway actually come to England from Australia. It came in 1928. It came to a place called High Beach in Essex, Epping Forest. Now, what they expected was 2,000 people, and 20,000 turned up. Now, these machines here are original Speedway bikes. The Douglas was built by the Douglas Club Motorcycle Company in Kingswood, Bristol, and it's a 500cc twin engine. The Douglas Company made 1,500 of these bikes in 1929, and everybody that rode on the Speedway was riding these bikes. Now, by 1930, the Rudge came along. That's a 4-valve engine, it's 500cc, and everybody changed onto the 4-valve engine. Right, these machines here are Jap engines, Joseph Arthur Prestwick, and the bikes and the engines were made in North London. The name of the road where they was made was Northumberland Avenue. Now, everybody thinks because it's got Jap on there that it's Japanese, but it's not. These engines, right, were built in 1934 until 1968. It's the only engine that was used on the Speedway in them years. These two bikes here are restored bikes, and one belongs to Nigel Bucock and the other one's Eric Bucock. Now, these bikes, as you can see, these are ESO engines. Right, so they're ESO Jawa. They're 500cc, exactly the same as the other bikes. All Speedway bikes in Speedway are all 500cc. These are a 2-valve engine. The Jap was a 2-valve engine, but as the time went on, somebody started to mess about with the engines. The name Neil Street, he was an ex-rider, and he devised a 4-valve head to go onto one of these, and that's where the 4-valve engine come from. This is the 500cc 4-valve Godden engine. As you can see, it's a completely different shape than the other engines, and they're now gone to electronic ignition, and the switch here to switch on from the magneto, because all Speedway bikes had a magneto, but they're now gone to electronic ignition.
It's now time for a short commercial break, but don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with our show on Garage TV in just a second. See you in a bit.